Hello and welcome to Tennyson Stadium for this non-conference matchup between the Michigan Wolverines and the Central Michigan University Chippewas. The Wolverines' final non-conference regular season game of the year. They're trying to come off a rough loss last night in Chicago. This is WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. I'm Andrew Hausman alongside Kevin Klein. We are just about ready to get underway. Kevin, what are you looking for the Wolverines to do to bounce back from that rough 7-0 defeat last night?
It's going to be important for that top of the lineup for the Wolverines to get going. Even despite Jackson Glines' 2 hits yesterday against UIC, the rest of the lineup is really going to have to pick it up, get some runs across the board in order to beat this Central Michigan team today.
And starting on the mound for the Central Michigan is Josh Pierce. He's had a rough year. 4.50 ERA, 0-2. He's mostly worked out of the bullpen. We saw him in these teams' last matchup. That was on April 1st, April Fool's Day in Ann Arbor. And he came out of the bullpen in that game, as he has most of the year. It's only his second start, 22 innings pitched, 32 hits, 17 runs, 11 of those earned, 10 strikeouts against 8 walks. And what really pops out, as we mentioned pregame, a .337 batting average again. So he pretty much makes every player look like Jacob Cronenworth. So Wolverines are going to be likely swinging away here and trying to just put the ball in play. This is a pretty big field. There's a big power alleys here, a little bit bigger than Ray Fisher Stadium. And we're just about ready to get underway. Jacob Cronenworth will dig in that left-handed batter's box and get ready to face the lefty Josh Pierce. Josh Pierce comes set. Here's the first pitch of the game. That one's low and in the dirt. And first pitch today at 4:07. Game time temperature right around 75 degrees here at Tennyson Stadium in Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Jacob Cronenworth, such an important part of the Michigan lineup, leading off. Also a speedster, can get you a stolen base, so it's very important for him to get on base early and often today.
Next pitch misses low and outside. Third pitch comes in for a strike. Count goes to 2-1 on Jacob Cronenworth. Third baseman for the Chippewas, Houlihan, standing right on that edge of the infield cutout. 2-1 pitch misses low. 3-1 good hitters count for Jacob Cronenworth. Josh Pierce working quickly here. Cronenworth takes his time, shrugs his shoulders, and now digs back in. Pierce comes set. 3-1 delivery. Swinging fouled high and out of play down the third base line. They'll get out of the stadium and run the count full.
House, you mentioned power alleys here at Tennyson Stadium, and Cronenworth is one of those guys you want to keep an eye on. 13 doubles this year, leading the team in home runs with 5, so it's going to be interesting. See if he can put one in the gap here. Good hitters count full.
Payoff pitch grounded up the middle, and that's snagged by McKenzie. Backhanded flip over to first base, and he is out. Good play there by the mobile second baseman, Pat McKenzie. Good backhanded snag, flips it over to first base to Alex Borglin, and able to beat Jacob Cronenworth out by 1 step for the first out of the first inning.
Pat McKenzie, we've talked about before the game how much of an offensive powerhouse he is, showing why he also should be getting some considerations on the defensive side of the ball as well, with the nice running play to his right.
Now Jackson Glines digs in. He takes the first pitch low and outside, 1-0. He'll take a few practice cuts, dig back into that lefty batter's box. Third baseman Houlihan still on the edge of that infield cut, watching for potential bunt. Second pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Got the off-speed pitch in there. Evens the count at 1-1. 1 out here in the top of the first inning. No score. 1-1 pitch. And that's a strike on the outside corner. Late call there by home plate umpire Mark Ewell. Count goes to 1-2. Pierce comes set. 1-2 delivery. That one misses outside. Tried to get him to chase the breaking ball, but good discipline there by the senior Jackson Glines. He's in center field, his normal spot today. 2-2 pitch from Pierce. Just misses. Good breaking ball on the outside corner, but just a little bit too low for Mark Ewell's liking. And another full count here for Josh Pierce, his second in 2 batters. Here comes set. The payoff pitch. That one's popped in the air right to the first baseman Borglin, and that one's a lazy little pop-up. Didn't even get out of the infield, and that's 2 outs for the Wolverines here in the top of the first.
Josh Pierce already looking sharp today against the top 2 lefties in the Michigan lineup. A tough lefty matchup. Pierce a lefty. The breaking ball is always a tail away from those lefties. It's a tough matchup, even when the batters are all-stars like, Jacob Cronenworth, Jackson Glines, even getting deeper into the lineup with Travis Mazes stepping to the plate right now.
And Travis Mazes, the 3rd consecutive left-handed batter for the Wolverines. They actually started out with 4 of their first 4 batters, and 6 of the 9 batters here today are lefties. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. 1-0 the count on the 3rd baseman, Travis Mazes. 1-0 pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1.
You see Pierce working the outside part of the plate, trying not to put anything in these Michigan hitters' wheelhouses, making them go the other way, making them beat Pierce going the other way.
Fastball misses low and outside. Count now 2-1. Outfield deep, straight up, all around. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. 2-1 pitch. That one misses low as well. And a 3rd consecutive 3-ball count for Josh Pierce. As we mentioned at the start of this broadcast, his command is not always on point. 8 walks this year in just 22 innings pitched. Lots of 3-ball counts. 3-1 pitch. And that one misses upstairs. And Mazes will flip the bat away and trot down to first base. And the Wolverines have a base runner with 2 outs here in the first inning. They'll bring up Carmen Benedetti. He has been the Wolverines' best hitter so far this year, batting .369, just behind his teammate Jackson Glines for atop the Big Ten batting average leaderboard. Travis Mazes takes his lead off first base, is somewhat of a base stealing threat. Only 4 of 6 this year. We did see him swipe over 15 bags last year, but he's been a little more conservative on the base pass. We'll see a throw over from Josh Pierce, but Mazes is back in, standing up.
Benedetti is an RBI machine, leading the team 53 RBIs, also leading the team in doubles. So if he can get something in the gap, given Mazes' speed, would give him the opportunity to score from first base, especially with 2 outs in this top of the first inning.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. Mazes takes his lead off first base. Borglund holding with him. Pierce checks the runner. Now comes home. No one's in the dirt. Mazes headed down to second base, and there will be no throw. Perhaps a poor block there from catcher Robert Greenman. I thought he could have stopped that one rather easily, but just kind of let it get away from him. Mazes was alert and able to take second base.
Poor block, but at the same time, great awareness from Travis Mazes. Great jump. Immediately when he saw that breaking ball hit the dirt, he took off for second base. No hesitation, no regrets.
And with 2 outs here, a single would likely score him with his good speed. 1-1 pitch. That one's fouled straight back. Right into the backstop. 1-2. A little underneath that one. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. No score from Tennyson Stadium. Michigan Wolverines versus the Central Michigan Chippewas. Pierce taking a long look into the catcher Greenman. Working from the stretch. He comes set, checks the runner once, twice. Now comes home. That one misses way outside. Evens the count up at 2-2. Mazes walked with 2 outs, then advanced on a passed ball to second base. That's where we stand right now. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Take Pierce. Now comes set. Checks Mazes. Comes home. 2-2 pitch. That one just misses low. And a 4th consecutive full count. Fourth consecutive 3-ball count. Pierce is running up his pitch count here early in the game. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second base for the Wolverines. Checks the runner once, twice. Now comes home. Payoff pitch. That one just misses, and back-to-back walks. Put runners at first and second for the Wolverines. Benedetti will trot down there, and that will bring up the number 5 hitter, Cody Bruder. He's in left field today, his usual spot. And he has an opportunity for a 2-out rally here for the Wolverines.
House, you mentioned 4 consecutive 3-ball counts. If you're Central Michigan manager Steve Jackson, you got to be a little concerned. First inning, already that pitch count elevating a little bit. It might be a long day for the bullpen today.
Yeah, typically not too much of a concern as you're looking to see a lot of pitchers get work in these midweek games, but you want them to last more than 1 or 2 innings. So first pitch, that one's a base hit into center field. Mazes rounding third. He's coming home. Throw to the plate is up the line and offline, and that will score a run. Cody Bruder singles home Travis Mazes, and the Wolverines lead 1-0 here in the first inning.
Great piece of hitting, going with the ball, hitting that ball straight into center field, able to score Mazes from second base with his speed.
Yeah, easy. Not really. I was kind of surprised they even went home with that ball. The center fielder is Nick Regner today, and that throw is way offline, about 20 feet up the line. He maybe would have had a shot if it was online, but really no chance with a horribly inaccurate throw. And there's not a lot of power in that arm out in center field, and Mazes was able to score easily. First pitch to Jake Bivens is high and inside. He'll step out of the batter's box, glance over at his first base dugout for the signs. Runners at first and second for the Wolverines, looking to add to their early 1-0 lead. Pierce checks the runner at second base, checks him again, now comes home. The 1-0 misses outside. Breaking ball unable to get into the strike zone. Pierce has had difficulty finding his spots.
I was just about to say the same thing. How's Pierce having really a difficult time finding that strike zone? And when he has found that strike zone, we saw Cody Bruder able to poke that ball in the center field for a solid base hit.
2-0 here on Jake Bivens. Pierce checks the runner at second, now comes home. That one misses low and inside. 3-0. And 5 of the first 6 batters, 3-ball counts. Just absolutely no accuracy from Josh Pierce so far. Josh Pierce had a decent outing in that last game against the Wolverines. 1 inning pitch, gave up hit and a walk, but the Wolverines unable to do any damage. But already with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. 3-0 delivery. That one misses. Oh, that was a strike. I thought that was ball 4. So did Jake Bivens. He was ready to head down to first base. That was a high strike.
Home plate umpire Mark Ewell says, "Not so fast, Jake."
Yeah, puts the freshman back in his place, but still a good hitter's count. 3-1. They've got a runner in scoring position. And Pierce will check the runner once, twice. Now he delivers home. 3-1 pitch. Misses way outside, and there's ball 4. No debating that one. And the third walk of the inning for the Wolverines loads up the bases. Here comes Kendall Patrick, fresh off a big weekend against the Iowa Hawkeyes. And he has a chance to extend the Wolverines' 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. And we'll see a mound visit here from Central Michigan. That's assistant head coach Jeff Opaleski coming out there and have a word with his left-hander. Josh Pierce, the junior, 6 foot, 167 pounds, out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So a long trek from Minneapolis here to Mount Pleasant, and 3 walks so far in this game. Mazes, Benedetti, and Bivens. Wolverines have a chance to blow this game wide open here in the first inning.
And given Pierce's struggles with the strike zone, if I'm Kendall Patrick, I am not even thinking about swinging at a pitch until I get a strike. Try to work that count, get in a good hitter's count like the rest of the Wolverine lineup has been able to do this first inning.
And if he walks another one, there's a free run for the Wolverines. We'll see what Pierce can do here. First pitch of that bat. That one's low. Another ball for Josh Pierce. He is really struggling. Benedetti on third, Bruder on second, Bivens on first. Pierce will now step off. Now get back on the rubber, looking for the signs from his catcher, Greenman. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Breaking ball hits for a strike. Just gets the outside corner, evens the count at 1-1 on Kendall Patrick.
Catcher Robert Greenman maybe saw something in his deliveries, in Pierce's delivery about the fastball not being able to control that, took something off there, and was able to find the strike zone, even up the count.
And there's a line drive, base hit into right field. 1 run will score. Here comes another. And that is 2 runs for the Wolverines. Big RBI single for Kendall Patrick. And the Wolverines lead 3-0 here in the first inning.
A nice inside-out swing by Kendall Patrick. mounting on his great weekend, going inside out with that ball, where the ball was in the strike zone, able to get 2 runs around.
And the Wolverines are still threatening with runners at the corners. Bivens standing on third. Kendall Patrick, the man of the 2 out big hit just then, standing on first base. Chop right down the first base line. Able to snag that is Alex Borglund. He will step on first base unassisted, and that'll get the Chippewas out of the inning, but not before the Wolverines take a 3-0 lead. And after getting shut out in Chicago, very encouraging signs out of the Wolverines offense in that first inning.
Eric Bakich, head coach for Michigan's got to be feeling very good about his team, getting early runs and giving pitcher Matt Ogden something to work with. Not a lot of pressure on him coming out in this first inning, but for Ogden, this is a very important inning. Shut out the Chippewas and continue further into the game.
Yeah, he'll face some dangerous hitters right off the bat. Alex Borglund and Pat McKenzie, 2 of the Chippewas' most dangerous hitters, batting 1-2. The first baseman and second baseman. McKenzie had himself a day the last time these 2 teams met. He got on base all 4 times, a hit, a walk, and then 2 hit by pitch. So he was able to terrorize the Wolverines and just keep getting on base. And the Wolverines will try and keep him off the base pass as he is 22 of 25 steal attempts on the year. So he's sitting in the 2-hole. But first up will be Alex Borglund.
Borglund, also an important part of Central Michigan's lineup, hitting just under 300 in there almost every day. 46 out of 47 games he's been in the Central Michigan lineup, and also has some speed. He's stolen 5 bags out of 8 chances, and is a real good table setter for Central Michigan. And like you said, for Pat McKenzie sitting in that 2-hole.
Yeah, rather unusual to see a first baseman leading off the lineup, but not exactly a big bopper like you'd see like someone like Carmen Benedetti, Kyle Jusic, just 6 foot, 172 pounds, native of Rochester, Michigan. What can you tell us about? You're also a native of the Rochester area. What can you tell? Anything you can tell about his high school days back in the day from Alex Borglund?
I know he is from the Rochester area, and watching him a few times, he was a great player, a really important part, and not a lot of power, like you said, House, but he is a good on-base percentage, 405, gets on base at a good clip, so that's why he's at the top of the lineup for manager Steve Jackson.
And for the Wolverines, Matt Ogden is on the mound, looking to add on to a so far impressive season, mostly working out of the bullpen. This is only his 4th start of the year. He also had 12 relief appearances, 30 innings pitched, 33 hits, 10 runs, 8 of those earned, and a good strikeout to walk ratio of 24-11. 2.37 ERA in the year, 4-1 record. And he will get ready to face the aforementioned Alex Borglund, who will dig into that lefty batter's box. First pitch from Ogden. There's a fastball strike in the outside corner. 0-1. Travis Mazes standing right on the edge of that infield cutout down the third base line. Well off the line, looking for a potential bunt here from Borglund. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to center field. Glines takes a few steps to his right, and he will make the catch. So 2 pitches, and there's an out for the Wolverines. A lazy fly ball, can of corn there for Jackson Glines, just drifts over to his right and able to make the easy out.
And this is how you want to face Pat McKenzie with the bases empty. It was important for Matt Ogden to get that first out. Now McKenzie steps to bat, and like we were talking about, House, he does it all. Steals bases, gets on base. He has got a great slugging percentage. He is just an all-around fantastic player for Central Michigan.
Yeah, good old-fashioned ball player. Also gets it done in the field as well. We saw a great backhanded stop there. I thought that was going to be a hit off the bat of Jackson Glines, ranged well to his right, and able to snap. Excuse me, that was off Cronenworth's bat. Excuse me, the first batter of the game. Able to make a nice backhanded stop, flip it over to first. Squares to bunt, but pulls it back. Still be called a strike. Anyway, and they'll even the count at 1-1 on Pat McKenzie. He'll have a few words with the home plate umpire, Mark Udall, just saying his hellos as he digs back in the lefty batter's box. 1-1 count. Ogden working quickly. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses high. He hung that one, and I think he's thankful that ball came right back to him out of the arm of Kendall Patrick. Pat McKenzie can do some damage, and I think McKenzie's kicking himself a little bit. They take advantage of the hanging breaking ball there. 2-1 pitch. That one's popped in the air. Bruder ranging over, takes a few steps to his right, and he will make the catch. So 2 easy pop-outs from 2 dangerous hitters as we start this first inning. Wolverines lead 3-0, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
I've really been impressed, these first 2 hitters of Matt Ogden, really able to control that fastball, put it in good locations that he can't get hurt on. You mentioned that hanging breaking ball, but other than that, he's been looking pretty sharp these first 2 batters.
And now Tyler Hunty, the senior right fielder, will dig into that righty batter's box. First pitch, fastball misses low, 1-0. Hunty also plays catcher, 6'3", 207 pounds, out of Stanwood, Michigan. Waiting for the 1-0. Ogden delivers. That one's fouled off down the right field line and out of play. Evens the count at 1-1. Nick Regner standing on deck. Owner of a .314 batting average. Also another dangerous hitter in this Chippewas lineup. Wolverines looking to go 1-2-3 here in the first inning. Breaking ball is fouled off. 1-2 pitch. You could tell that Hunty really got ahead of that one. Was just able to hold up his swing just a little bit to foul that one off, but unable to do any damage and count 1-2.
Also, much better location from Matt Ogden. He kind of learned from that first breaking ball he tried on Pat McKenzie. Great location on the outer part of that plate.
1-2 pitch. That one's a little ground ball over to Mazes. He will scoop it up, flip over to first base, and get Hunty by a step and a half. And there's 3 up, 3 down for Matt Ogden. We head to the top of the second. Wolverines lead 3-0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Kevin Klein. A beautiful day from Tennyson Stadium here in Mount Pleasant. Enjoyable drive up from the Southeast Michigan area, and just a great day for baseball here. Pretty warm here, but for early May, but we'll take it. And Wolverines looking to add to an early 3-0 lead as we go with the 9-1-2 hitters will be first up for the Wolverines. We assume Josh Pierce will come back to the mound. We haven't seen any action in either of the bullpens yet, and it indeed will be Josh Pierce returning after a rough first inning. Kendall Patrick, the hero of that first inning, able to deliver a big 2-out, 2-run single, and that gave the Wolverines a 3-0 lead. Also give credit to Cody Bruder, who knocked in the first run of the day on a single to center field. And now the 9-1-2 hitters, White, Cronenworth, Glines due up. What are you looking for out of Kevin White? He's been in and out of the lineup, trading places back and forth with Johnny Slater, but Johnny Slater's been in a slump recently, and Kevin White gets back into the lineup. What are you looking for out of Kevin White here today?
Kevin White has a lot of pop in his bat. Not a great average, but he gets on base. He's a great has a great eye up at the plate and also has some pop. I really like his insertion into the lineup by Eric Bakich today.
Yeah, we saw Slater get the start yesterday, went 0 for 2, and then Coach Bakich brought in Kevin White as a pinch hitter. He was unable to do anything in that at bat. That was a rough game yesterday. Wolverines got beat pretty soundly by a good University of Illinois Chicago team looking to be right on the fringes of NCAA tournament contention. Despite their only 500 record, they've played a tough schedule, and they're right at the top of the Horizon League, so they'll be in contention for that for that postseason crown to try and get an NCAA tournament. Speaking of NCAA tournament, the Big Ten has made quite a resurgence in the baseball this year. We'll cover that. There's a few other games going on right now, most notably Northwestern versus Kansas. The Jayhawks making the trip to Evanston, and Northwestern currently the owners of a 1-0 lead in the top of the third. All their games still waiting to get underway here. But Kevin White will get ready to face a new pitcher. Excuse me, Josh Pierce did come out there like he was going to warm up, but a new pitcher, that is Jimmy McNamara. And there's a base hit into left field. Kevin White leads off the second inning with a little dribbler that just got out of the reach of shortstop Zach McKinstry, and he's on with nobody out here in the top of the second. The new pitcher, Jimmy McNamara, the left-hander, 6'2", 281 pounds, junior out of Dyer, Indiana. And obviously, Coach Steve Jackson did not like what he saw out of Josh Pierce. And we have a new pitcher, but he gives off a leadoff single. And we see the top of the order for Jacob Cronenworth. He will take a strike right at the knees. 0-1. Cronenworth 0 for 1 on the day. A nice stop by Pat McKenzie. Backhanded stop in that first inning. McNamara will throw over to first base. Almost caught Kevin White leaning there.
Kevin White better be careful. He was a little nonchalant over at first base, and McNamara almost caught him sleeping.
But able to get back in time. 0-1 the count on Jacob Cronenworth. McNamara delivers home. This time that one's fouled way out of play over the first base side. Quickly 0-2 here on Jacob Cronenworth. McNamara 4.20 ERA on the year, 15 innings pitched, 19 hits, 8 runs, 7 of those earned, 12 strikeouts against only 2 walks, and looking to get a more of a control pitcher after that rough first inning. And there's a single into right field. Kevin White rounds a big turnaround second base, but he trots back into second base, and back-to-back singles, and the Wolverines are in business. First and second, their 4th hit of the day so far. And that will bring up Jackson Glines. He's got runners at first and second, nobody out. Wolverines looking to add to that 3-0 lead.
Kevin White leading off the inning. Now Cronenworth, not particularly hard hit balls, but seeing eye singles, able to find a hole on each side of the infield. Runners, ducks on the pond for Jackson Glines coming up to plate.
Jackson Glines had that very weak pop out to first baseman Alex Borglund his first time up, so looking to redeem himself after that weak at bat his first time up. White takes his lead off second, Cronenworth off first. First pitch is well inside. Greenman had to reach across his body as he is a right-handed catcher and catching with that left-handed glove. Almost crossed him up, but able to make the stop, keep the runners where they are. 1-0 on Jackson Glines. McNamara checks the runner once, twice, now comes home. 1-0 pitch, good breaking ball for a strike. He buckled the knees of Jackson Glines, and nothing he could do with that one.
Yeah, we've seen this top of the second inning. McNamara has a nice breaking ball. He's used it a few times against Cronenworth, and now a nice breaking ball to even the count against Jackson Glines.
1-1 on Jackson Glines. Here's the delivery. That one's popped high in the air, and infield fly rule will be called, and there will be an out. Third baseman Joe Houlihan will go through the formality of catching it for an out, but infield fly was called with runners at first and second and nobody out in the inning. So that will leave it up to Travis Mazes. Wolverines still have a good opportunity here. Only 1 out here in the top of the second. Travis Mazes digging in. He was the one that got it all started with that 2-out walk. Showed some patience, got on base, and then advanced down to second on the pass ball before being walked over to third base on the walk by Benedetti, and then, walked to second base, and then scored on that single by Bruder. First pitch is fouled off down the left field line, out of play. 0-1 on Travis Mazes.
Michigan took full advantage of their walks last half inning, the inability of Josh Pierce to find the strike zone, and to be honest, that's a baseball cliche. Walks come back to haunt you, and they did last inning for the Wolverines.
Travis Mazes, McNamara checks the runner once, twice. Now he comes home. There's a strike right at the knees. Quickly 0-2. And McNamara has shown something that Pierce can't, and that's the ability to throw strikes. He did give up those 2 singles, but as you mentioned, he did his job on those. He got the ground ball. His fielders just weren't able to come up with the plays. Kind of seeing eye base hits, as you mentioned. 0-2 pitch. That one misses high. Greenman coming out of his crouch to catch that one. Tried to get in with the high cheese, but good plate discipline there by Travis Mazes. Count goes to 1-2. He will step out to reset himself.
And that high fastball might set up this pitch, maybe a breaking ball outside or down and away, trying to change Mazes' eye level here.
McNamara checks the runner, comes home, and there's a foul right back to the screen. Mazes able to stay alive, and exactly as he did there, change his eye level, and Mazes had to go out and dig that one right around his knees. Just a good piece of defensive hitting to stay alive, live to see another pitch. White takes his lead off second, Cronenworth off first. Both itching to come home and add to this 3-0 Wolverines lead here in the top of the second. McNamara will step off, call time, and Mazes will respond by taking a few practice cuts out of that lefty batter's box, and now he'll dig back in. waiting for the 1-2 pitch. McNamara comes set. He comes home. That one's in the dirt. Nice block there by Greenman to prevent that one getting away, and the Wolverines runners moving up to third and second.
Back-to-back breaking balls here from McNamara to Mazes. It'll be interesting to see if he goes back to that high cheese like we saw at that 0-2 count, or maybe just a fastball on the outer half of the plate, not trying to get into Mazes' wheelhouse.
2-2 pitch. Runner start and stop. Swing and a miss. And he gets him with the changeup. So doesn't go back to the breaking ball, doesn't go to the fastball, but instead gets him out ahead of the changeup on the outer half of the plate. And there's a big strikeout there from Jimmy McNamara. 2 outs will leave it up to Carmen Benedetti. He walked in his first plate appearance. That was in the first inning. He ended up coming around to score on that 2-out, 2 RBI single by Kendall Patrick. McNamara checks Kevin White at second base. First pitch. Breaking ball misses low. Good eye there by Carmen Benedetti. He'll readjust his batting gloves. Get ready to dig back in. Outfield straight up on the lefty Benedetti. Fairly deep all around. 1-0 pitch. Break ball misses low. McNamara's shown that he's been able to hit his spots with the breaking ball, but 2 misses so far to start off this at bat.
It seems like it's been his favorite pitch this half inning, using it almost for against every hitter. So he feels confident in it, and he's going to keep using it because he's shown the ability to hit the strike zone.
He'll step off the mound. Benedetti will step out, now step back in. McNamara checks Kevin White at second base, comes home with a 2-0 pitch. Another breaking ball and another miss. 3-0. Perhaps, do you think they're pitching around Carmen Benedetti at all, or is this just McNamara not hitting his spots?
Well, I think it's definitely pitching around Carmen Benedetti. Definitely the cleanup hitter for Michigan. Definitely one of the more dangerous hitters in the lineup. And I think even though Cody Bruder already has an RBI single today, I think they would rather deal with him than a dangerous hitter like Carmen Benedetti, especially an RBI machine like he is.
And a fastball gets in there for a strike. Benedetti was taking the whole way. Still a good hitters count at 3-1. 2 outs here in the top of second. Wolverines trying to add to their 3-0 lead. They have runners at first and second. 3-1 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to left field. Left field giving chase. And he will dive and not make the catch. 1 run will score. Here comes Cronowitz to the plate. He will score. And there's a double by Carmen Benedetti. 2 runs come in, and the Wolverines lead 5-0 here at the top of the second.
Long run for Daniel Jipping. Just couldn't get it. Gave a nice diving effort. However, Carmen Benedetti able to just pop that in between the shortstop and the left fielder Jipping.
Yeah, just a little. I thought it was going to be a fairly easy fly ball out right off the bat, but Jipping, as I mentioned, was playing very deep out there. This is a much bigger field than the Wolverines are used to playing, and we're used to seeing at Ray Fisher Stadium. 330 down both lines, 400 to straightaway center. So lots of room to patrol out there in the outfield.
And to be honest, that's just a function of how deep Jipping was playing, because there essentially is no wind today. So that ball had was not affected by any atmospheric conditions.
And that will bring up Jake Bivens, already owner of 1 RBI so far in the first inning. He has a chance to add some more. There's a fly ball to center field, giving chase, and that will be an easy out there by center fielder Nick Regner. So records the 3rd out, but the Wolverines able to add 2 more. Another big 2-out hit by the Wolverines. 2 RBIs knocked in by Benedetti's double. And the Wolverines lead 5-0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Andrew Hausman alongside Kevin Klein. Matt Ogden will retake the mound and get ready to face the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Regner, Jipping, McKinstry for the Chippewas.
Magda, if you're Matt Ogden, you have to be pleased with this offensive effort, especially coming off a big goose egg yesterday for the Wolverines. 5 runs already on 5 hits, taking advantage of pitchers' mistakes with Pierce's walks in the first inning, McNamara falling behind dangerous hitters in the second inning. So Matt Ogden, you have to be pleased. And to be honest, in his first inning, really was hitting his spots, controlling that baseball, his fastball and off-speed pitches, looking good today for the Wolverines.
Do you think McNamara will continue, or could we see another pitching change coming into the top of the 3rd?
Given how fast Jackson pulled Pierce in the first inning, I wouldn't be surprised to see another reliever in the 3rd.
I was just very surprised that we saw McNamara because we didn't see him warming up down in that left field bullpen. But he's shown he'll do it. Jackson has shown he's been do it before, and we could see another pitcher coming in at the top of the third. But first will be the bottom of the second. Matt Ogden with a easy first inning for the Chippewas, or excuse me, against the Chippewas, and they'll bring up Nick Regner, the senior center fielder, batting .314 on the year. That's the owner of a .372 slugging percentage and .397 on base percentage. This is not a guy you want to let get on base. 19 of 20 on steal attempts. So Wolverines look to shut him down right here.
And if Central Michigan wants to get back in the game, it's going to be important for Rainier to get back to get on first base, maybe because he can turn a base hit or a walk into a double easily with his speed.
First pitch in there on outside corner, 0-1. Another good breaking ball there. Quickly 0-2 on Regner.
Two great spots there from Ogden, both on the inside and outer half of the plate. Not much you can do if you're a batter there, right or left-handed.
0-2 pitch, breaking ball, high chop to third base. Mazes has it. He will take his time, flip over to first base, and that one gets past Benedetti. Regner heading down to second base, and he will slide in safely, and that's got to be an error. Regner able to get on base here to start the bottom of the second, and Chippewas are in business here. And that indeed will be ruled an error. Do you think that one was on Mazes or on Benedetti?
This definitely seemed like a playable ball from Benedetti. Not the greatest throw in the world. It looked like Mazes might have rushed the throw a little bit, but in the end, I think it's Mazes' job to deliver a strong, accurate throw over to first base to retire the runner, and he just couldn't do it there.
Yeah, one was a little low. Benedetti unable to corral the bounce. That one got away, and an alert base running by Regner gets him down to second base. Now Ogden will step off and throw down, and that will be a balk. Not Wolverines just giving away bases here.
Not the way you want to start a second inning after your offense just gave you 5 runs in the first 2 if you're Matt Ogden.
And now Kendall Patrick will go down and try and settle down the junior righty. Have a few words with his pitcher, and you can't fault him on he got a good pitch to induce the out of Regner. That's a dangerous bat. He just got an easy ground out to third base, but normally the sure-handed Mazes would make that play, but just threw it away from Benedetti, unable to make the scoop. And then a balk there. Interesting. We saw Daniel Jeffrey, the third base umpire, no hesitation. First pitch to Daniel Jipping is a fastball strike in the outside corner. Matt Ogden, good job mixing up his pitches. We saw the first 2 pitches of that last at-bat were the breaking ball. Now he goes right back to the fastball, keeping these Chippewas off balance. Here's the first pitch. That one's a high chop to third base. The runner will score. Another throw over to first base, and this time they're able to scoop that one. Another one in the dirt.
Well, Mazes better be thanking Carmen Benedetti after the end of this inning. Mazes had a great opportunity to redeem himself on that bad throw to lead off the inning, and it seemed like we were watching a replay of that first throw in the dirt, almost the exact same spot, except this time Benedetti able to corral that one.
Yeah, and we mentioned that the outfield confines are larger here. The infield layout is exactly the same. Maybe he's just not used to the dirt, used to playing at turf on Ray Fisher Stadium, but 2 poor throws and the ground out able to score a run. Chippewas on the board here without the benefit of a hit. They trail 5-1 here in the bottom of the second inning. Ogden misses too low and out of the zone to the shortstop, Zach McKinstry. Bang, left-handy. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That was a ground ball second base. Backhanded stop. Flip over to first base. And there's the second out of the inning for the Wolverines. Nice play there by Jacob Cronenworth. Routine grounder, able to, didn't get quite in front of it, but able to make the stop, flip over to first base. And there's 2 outs here in the second inning.
Personally, I always get a little nervous when fielders don't get entirely in front of the baseball, but right there, Jacob Cronenworth able to have a nice backhanded play, easy flip over to Benedetti.
And that will bring up the third baseman, Joe Houlihan, number 7 hitter for the Chippewas. He takes a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Ogden working quickly here. The windup and delivery. Breaking ball misses low and outside. Evens the count at 1-1. Outfield fairly shallow on McKinstry, at least in comparison to what we saw from the Chippewas fielders on some of the Wolverines' more potent hitters. 1-1 pitch. That one's fouled down the first base line, way out of play.
And that's interesting because Joe Houlihan has 4 home runs on the season, 26 RBI, so he definitely has some pop in his bat. It's surprising me that the outfielders for the Wolverines are so shallow.
I'm surprised as well, especially with 2 outs here, but there's a little number off the bat. Cronenworth will field, flip over to first base, and he got him. What a play. He just flipped it up with his glove. There's a web gem from Jacob Cronenworth, and that's the end of the inning.
We better be seeing that on SportsCenter later tonight because that was a fantastic play out of the reach of Matt Ogden, but Cronenworth charging that ball hard, able to get it over to Benedetti. Fantastic play, not even using his bare hand.
What a fantastic play by Cronenworth to end the inning. And just as we were giving him a little bit of criticism for not squaring up that ground ball for the second out of the inning, makes a spectacular play. I thought Ogden was going to get that. It was just a little bit nubber right off the end of the bat. Thought Ogden was able to get to it, but he could not. Cronenworth, as you mentioned, charged hard, able to get it. And that gets the Wolverines out of the inning, but they do give up on a run in an odd set of circumstances. We see the error by Mazes allows Redner to get down to second, or allows Redner to reach and get to second base. Then you advance to third on a balk before scoring on a ground out. And then a routine inning from there from Matt Ogden. We head to the top of the third. Wolverines lead 5-1. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Kevin Klein here in Mount Pleasant, Michigan for the Michigan Wolverines against the Central Michigan University Chippewas.
Looks like Jax liked what he saw out of Jamie McNamara coming out for his second inning of relief. Be interesting to see if he can keep the Wolverines off the board, something he and Josh Pierce, the starter, were not able to do these last 2 innings.
And that brings up the 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Wolverines. Bivens, Patrick, Lugbauer. And they've had a solid day so far. Bivens walked his first time up. Was unable to score, but he ended up being stranded at third base after that 2-run, 2-out single by Kendall Patrick. He'll get ready to dig in that lefty batter's box to face McNamara for the first time. Third baseman Houlihan standing right on the infield cutout, watching for a potential bunt. Fastball in the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 on the freshman shortstop, Jake Bivens. McNamara winds and throws. Fastball inside, 1-1.
We mentioned at the top of the broadcast how it might be difficult for these lefty hitters of Michigan to face back-to-back lefties, Pierce, now McNamara, and it seems like it hasn't been a problem so far.
Yeah, not a problem so far. Plenty of walks for the Wolverines, 3 in that first inning. And the Wolverines really made Pierce pay, chased him from the game early, and got 3 runs on the board, then came right back against McNamara. There's a shot right back to McNamara, knocks it down, throws over to first base, and that one gets away from Borglin. So Bivens is safe, and we'll check to see if McNamara is okay. That one right off, I believe, his calf. He's shaken up. The trainer for Central Michigan will jog out there and check out the young left-hander.
Looks like it was his calf. He's clutching at it right there. But given the circumstances, he is a little banged up right now, but a great play, an athletic play to be able to get that ball into his glove, make a below average throw, but still Borglin had a great opportunity to retire Bivens there. Bivens, though, with his speed, put a little pressure on the pitcher first baseman duo there.
Yeah, he had some time to get over there, but obviously was a little shaken up on the throw and just threw that one right into the dirt. Borglin unable to come up with it. And Bivens able to reach it. They're going to call that an infield single. I got to agree with that call.
Especially given Bivens' speed, I believe so.
And another leadoff batter, the second consecutive inning, the first Wolverines runner gets on base. And here comes Kendall Patrick. Will step up to the plate. Already has 2 RBIs today. He had that big 2-out hit that we've mentioned. Gave the Wolverines a 3-0 lead in the first inning. Now he has a chance to continue the Wolverines' hot-hitting day from the plate. But first, they will go over all of the safety protocols with Jimmy McNamara, see if he is safe to proceed. He's going to throw a few warm-up pitches, see how that calf feels. I believe it's his left calf that got hit. Did you see if it was his left or right calf?
I believe he was clutching at his right calf.
Okay, right calf. So
and that is his plant foot.
As a lefty thrower, he's thrown a few warm-up pitches. He looks all right. Having a word with his manager and as well as the trainer, and it looks like he will be good to continue. Jackson likes what he sees. And once again, can't really fault McNamara there. It was kind of a hard hit ball, but just on the ground. So he's done a good job keeping the balls on the ground, with the exception being that Benedetti double. But even so, that was kind of a lazy fly ball. It wasn't hit particularly hard. And McNamara just hasn't had fortune on his side so far in this brief appearance. Kendall Patrick will dig in that ready batter's box, waiting for the first pitch. Now we'll see a throw over to first base. Bivens slides back in safely, head first.
Bivens has some speed. 7 stolen bags this year, 9 attempts. So it serves McNamara right. Make sure nothing's going on over at that first base.
Borglund holding with him. We'll see another throw over, but Bivens had a much smaller lead this time and able to get back in standing up. That one you could tell he was ready for the potential throw, and the last time he had to dive back in, but able to make it in time. It's a quick move, but just kind of a soft lob. First pitch delivery home. That one misses low and outside. 1-0 on Kendall Patrick. He'll step out, go check the signs from the first base dugout. Interesting open face dugouts here at Tennyson Stadium. Potential danger on foul balls, but you haven't seen anything in the likes of that so far. 1-0 on Kendall Patrick, but first a throw over to first base.
McNamara very concerned with Bivens over at first base, especially with 0 outs. It's important to keep Bivens at first because, with his speed, it could a base hit like that could turn into a double, especially with 0 outs and some dangerous hot hitters coming up like Kendall Patrick, who's up to bat right now.
And a good breaking ball delivered by McNamara to Kendall Patrick evens the count at 1-1. Patrick just let that one soar right by. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air down the right field line. That will get foul and out of play. Gave that one a ride, but that will land harmlessly out of play in the Wolverines bullpen. Right fielder Tyler Hunty gave chase, but ran well out of room. That was about 10 feet foul, or 10 feet out of play, excuse me. He also has about 10 feet of foul ground to work with down there in right field. 1-2 on Kendall Patrick. Looking to add another RBI, already 2 so far today. And another throw over by McNamara. Really trying to keep Bivens close, keep that potential double play in order. Middle of the infield in double play depth. That's McKenzie at second and McKinstry at short. 1-2 pitch. That one's a ground ball to second base. McKenzie flips to second, relay to first, and that one's high, but it is in time. And a double play there. Once again, another defensive play by Pat McKenzie. He gets it started, flips over to McKinstry, relay over to first base. And there's a double play. Rally killer for the Wolverines. 2 outs, leaves it up to the DH, Drew Lugbauer.
Well, you ask and you shall receive. That was just a tailor-made double play right there, especially with Patrick at the plate. Not a lot of speed. Relatively easy for McKinstry to get it over to first base to complete that 4-6-3 double play.
And first pitch swing, base hit into right field. Drew Lugbauer joins his Wolverines teammates in the box score with a hit. And already 7 hits for the Wolverines, and 2-out hit by Drew Lugbauer just took what McNamara gave him, lined to right field, and he's standing on first base with 2 outs. Then we'll bring up Kevin White. He singled his first time up and came around to score on that Benedetti RBI double with 2 outs last inning. Looking to add to the Wolverines' 5-0 lead here. Breaking ball, strike on the outside corner. White checked his swing, but just too good of a pitch. McNamara, when he's been on point with that breaking ball, it's looked real good.
Oh, yes, that breaking ball has definitely been his best pitch this afternoon. And when he, like you said, House, when he's been able to control it like he did there, got Kevin White swinging in the dirt, he's been dangerous. He's really has been dangerous.
Able to use that breaking ball to induce that double play ball off the bat of Kendall Patrick. And now back-to-back breaking balls makes it 0-2. That one's in the dirt. Lugbauer digging for second base, and he is safe. And a slow-footed Lugbauer able to make heads-up base running. That was in the dirt. I think that'll be ruled a pass ball on Robert Greenman. We'll see what the official score decides, but unable to just keep it within a reasonable distance. He's twice this game he's blocked it, but just let it get too far away from him, and then he wasn't able to make it in time. And when you let Drew Lugbauer move up, you know you're doing something wrong.
I mean, I thought we were watching it in slow motion. That's how slow Lugbauer was hustling over to second base, but nonetheless able to beat the throw from Greenman.
And now a hit batter just right into the arm of Kevin White, and he will absorb it in those powerful arms. We've seen him just rip a few home runs out of Ray Fisher with using almost purely arm strength. He has some of the best upper body strength on this team, and he'll absorb the contact. And there's a hit batter, puts runners at first and second. More danger for the Wolverines. They've had base runners galore here in the first 3 innings.
And Jimmy McNamara definitely did not want to see the top of the lineup come up for the Wolverines. Look at the dangerous hitters, Cronenworth, Glines, Mazes. When you get in the top portion of this lineup, it's really dangerous, treacherous waters McNamara's treading in right now.
And now Steve Jackson will go out to have a word with home plate umpire Mark Ewell. The Chippewas manager is not happy with that one. He felt that Kevin White did not do an adequate job getting out of the way of that pitch, but he is satisfied with the explanation from Mark Ewell. He'll head back into that first base dugout for the Chippewas. And that's something you'll see a lot more at this college level, where you'll see base runners called back to the plate after they do not sufficiently get out of the way of a hit by pitch. At the major league level, you'll rarely ever see that, but that happens quite frequently here at the college level. First pitch, that one's a high chop over to third base, flip over to first base, and they'll get the Chippewas out of trouble. Cronenworth, first pitch swing, but an easy play there by Joe Houlihan, and he's able to get the third out of the inning, and Wolverines go scoreless for the first time. We head to the bottom of the third. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Wolverines lead 5-0. You're listening to Andrew Hausman alongside Kevin Klein. Matt Ogden will take them out for his third inning of work. Gave up that one unearned run his last time out.
Matt Ogden has been quite impressive so far. You mentioned giving up that one earned run, but even after committing the balk and the error by Maces that moved the runner to second base, able to keep his cool, keep his composure, remember his mechanics, able to get out of that inning, just allowing that one single run.
And now due up for the Chippewas, the 8-9-1 hitters. Cody Leichman, the DH today, followed by Greenman and then Borglund at the top of the order. And we'll take this time to update you on the other Big Ten game going on right now. Kansas leads Northwestern in Evanston 3-2. Northwestern jumped out to a 1-0 lead before Kansas answered back with 3, and the Northwestern has got to run back. That's currently in the bottom of the 4th. Two on, nobody out for the Wildcats. That's the only other Big Ten game going on right now. And in this game, Wolverines lead 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Cody Leichman, the senior, will dig in, owner of a .211 batting average. Cody Leichman, a big boy, 6'3", 235 pounds out of Trenton, Ohio. He'll take the first pitch outside for a ball. Outfield, average depth, straight up all around on the left-handed hitter. Leichman, he'll take the next pitch, breaking ball for a strike. Evens the count at 1.
You mentioned Leichman's a big boy, 6'3". Still no home runs this season. He looks like a type of kid who can really push a ball out of the ballpark. It'll be interesting to see if he can drive something in the gap, get on the board in terms of home runs for the year.
Yeah, he does have 6 doubles on the year and limited playing time, only 95 at-bats, a part-time player for the Chippewas. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Ogden. Swing and a miss. Just completely whiffed on that fastball. That's one of the first swings and misses we've seen either way so far this game. Both batters on both sides have been very patient and just done a good job getting the ball in play.
Good, firm four-seamer right there at the knees.
2-2 is fouled straight back. Count remains 2-2. Another fastball came upstairs. Leichman able to get a piece of it and stay alive. He's the leadoff batter of this bottom of the third inning. Matt Ogden goes in delivery, comes home, and now he goes with the breaking ball. That one's fouled off. Another piece of defensive hitting by Leichman.
Able to stay back on that breaking ball. That was a good breaking ball down lower half of the zone on the outer part of the plate, but Leichman just able to foul it off, live to see another pitch.
2-2 pitch, way outside. Tried to get him to chase the fastball, but that wasn't even close. Kendall Patrick goes lunging into the right-handed batter's box, and that will run the count full.
There are good balls and bad balls, and that was definitely a bad ball. No chance that Leichman would have swung at that one.
3-2 pitch is lofted high in the air to Jackson Glines. He will retreat backwards, now take 1 or 2 steps in and make an easy catch. Easy fly out there for the first out of the inning for the Chippewas. That will bring up the number 9 hitter, Robert Greenman, the catcher. He's had a little bit of a rough day on the defensive side of the ball and looking to redeem himself here.
Well, in limited playing time, he's hitting .421. Granted, only 19 at-bats, but when he's given his opportunities, he's been able to take advantage of them. 5 RBIs on the year, 8 hits as well.
He steps in with 1 out into that righty batter's box. Takes a strike. Oh, it looked like a pretty good pitch to hit, but it wasn't the pitch Greenman was looking for, and he'll take the first pitch for a strike. Ogden delivers. Another strike. That's a good pitch. Not much Greenman could have done with that one.
Well, you mentioned that first one got a lot of the plate. That one on the outer half of the plate just got the corner. Great pitcher's pitch right there for Ogden.
Ogden delivers 0-2. That one draws Patrick out of his stance. Tried to get Greenman to go with the high cheese, but wanted to do so. That runs the count to 1-2.
3 straight fastballs. Maybe Ogden goes with a breaking ball here to mix it up to Robert Greenman.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And exactly what he did, he switched it up with a changeup. And Greenman strikes out. That's the first strikeout of the day for Matt Ogden. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Alex Borglin will dig in. 0 for 1 on the day. He had that easy fly out to center field. Can of corn for Jackson Glines. And now trying to get a 2-out rally going for the Chippewas. Ogden will take a long look in. Go into that windup. Now come home. Squares to bunt. Pulls it back. In there for a strike.
Ogden's control is impeccable this half inning. Able to just paint the corners with his fastball. If he wants it on the lower half of the strike zone, upper half of the strike zone, outer half of the strike zone, wherever he wants it, wherever Kendall Patrick calls for it, he's putting it right on the money.
And just as you say that, almost hits Alex Borglin right on the kneecaps, but able to get out of the way of that one. And that evens the count at 1-1. Here's the delivery. That one's a chopper right back up the middle. That is through for a base hit. Matt Ogden just kind of motioned his glove in that direction. He was the only one that had a shot as that one trickled right back up the middle of the infield. And that's the first hit of the day for the Chippewas. They were able to get that run last inning without the benefit of a hit. But first hit of the day goes to Alex Borglin.
And we were talking about how great his Matt Ogden's control has been so far with that fastball. That hit by Borglin was on a breaking ball. That breaking ball had a lot of the plate, was almost hanging, and Ogden's lucky that ball didn't go into the gap or even out of this ballpark.
Now Pat McKenzie steps in. He'll take the first pitch high for a strike. And quite a few of those are high for a strike. And Pat McKenzie, 5'9", 171 out of Royal Oak, Michigan from Brother Rice. Ogden comes set. That one just misses. Good fastball there, but just a little bit too low for home plate umpire Mark Ewell's liking. And 2-0 on Pat McKenzie. Dangerous hitter. Also shown he can draw a walk. 480 on base percentage. 40 walks on the year. Unbelievable for Pat McKenzie. Great eyes at the plate. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike on the outside corner. Perhaps a forgiving call there by Mark Ewell. That one looked like it was outside, but I'm sure Matt Ogden will take that one.
Definitely against a great hitter like McKenzie. Take whatever you can get that the umpires are giving Matt Ogden right now.
Ogden comes set. He'll throw over to first base. Almost gets Borglin there. Borglin was leaning off first base, but able to get back in there safely. Benedetti holding with him there. Mazes right on the edge of that infield cutout. Third base. Outfield fairly shallow on Pat McKenzie all around. Ogden comes set. 2-1 delivery. That one's high. 3-1 leaves a good hitter's count for Pat McKenzie. And they're very interesting infield cutouts here at Tennyson Stadium that kind of go down at about we'll say a 30-degree angle and form a little 30, 60, 90-degree triangle there. Never seen anything like it. 3-1 pitch. That one's high. McKenzie will flip the bat and head down to first base. There's a walk for McKenzie and runners at first and second for the Chippewas. That brings up Tyler Hunty, the number 3 hitter for the Chippewas. 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to Mazes his first time up.
Almost looked like Ogden was kind of pitching around the dangers. Pat McKenzie, a left-handed batter, maybe favored attacking Tyler Hunty, the righty.
Yeah, I don't blame him. 353 on the year, exceptional on-base percentage, and he goes back to that breaking ball and gets a big swing and miss from Hunty. That one ball just dropped right off the table, and Hunty came up with nothing but air. 0-1. Ogden working from the stretch with runners at first and second. Checks the runner at second, now comes home. There's a breaking ball. Fair ball down the left field line. 1-run will score. McKenzie digging for third. He's coming home. Throw to the plate, and that is not in time. And a big 2-out triple from the Chippewas pulls them within 5-3. That one just barely snuck down the left field line. And the Chippewas are in business. They're still threatening a huge triple from Tyler Hunty. Scores 2. And we sit at 5-3 here in the bottom of the third.
Great cutoff throw from Travis Maces to Kendall Patrick. Patrick just not able to get a good tag on the speedy McKenzie rounding third base. The ball beat him there. Just McKenzie with a great slide outside of that tag, able to score the third run of the game for the Chips.
Yeah, and give credit. I believe that was Regner that was motioning to McKenzie which way he should slide, and able to go on outside of the bag where Patrick was stationed on the inside. He just had a long reach to try and get McKenzie. He was able to sneak in there. And the Chippewas are still threatening here with Hunty standing on third. He's definitely would like to come home and draw the Chippewas within 1. Lots of run scoring here in the first 3 innings. Regner trying to knock in Hunty from third. Ball's in the dirt, but a good block from Kendall Patrick keeps Hunty right where he is. If that one got away, we could see a 1-1 game right here. 1-1 on Nick Regner. Reached on an error his last time up. Advanced to second on the error. Advanced to third on a balk, and then scored on a ground out. That was the Chippewas' first run of the game last inning. Now they've added 2 more, courtesy of a 2-out, 2-run double off the bat of Tyler Hunty, just fair down the left field line. And that was a long run for Cody Bruder. 2-1. And that's a ground ball to shortstop. Bivens will scoop it, flip over to first base, and he is out by 2 steps. And the Wolverines are able to get out of it, but not before the Chippewas add 2. And we head to the top of the 4th inning. Wolverines lead 5-3. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. And coming up for the Wolverines
will be Jackson Glines, Travis Maces, and Carmen Benedetti. The meat of the order for the Wolverines. Glines 0 for 2 today, not able to get one of 7 hits for the Wolverines.
And it will be, I believe it will be McNamara again. Indeed, it will be.
Looks like that calf injury really didn't trip him up, coming out for his 3rd inning of relief. McNamara able to kind of stop the bleeding after Josh Pierce let up 3 runs in that first frame.
Did give up 2 courtesy of that big double by Carmen Benedetti. And then the Wolverines were able to get a leadoff batter last inning before a double play off the bat of Kendall Patrick erased him. Then the Wolverines able to get 2 more runners on before the Chippewas were able to escape the inning with any further damage. The Wolverines looking to answer right back against the Chippewas. They got 2 back, and the Wolverines will try and expand their lead again.
Andrew, we are in a 5-3 game now. Central Michigan has shown some life. How important is it for the middle of the lineup for Michigan to get some runs across the board in this half inning?
Well, I definitely think it's important. Chippewas are going to be trying to shut them down. You want to stay right in this game, but you have only been able to keep the Wolverines scoreless 1/2 inning so far. And I think with the meat of the order coming up, the Wolverines have a good opportunity right here to expand that 5-3 lead.
Jackson Glines, left-handed hitter, steps to the into the batter's box. McNamara delivers a breaking ball strike on the outer half of the plate. 0-1 now on Glines.
McNamara really working that breaking ball, as we mentioned last inning. When he's hitting his spots, he's very difficult to hit.
Glines skies one to left field. Jipping giving chase in foul territory, makes a running grab. Great catch. Bouncing off that wall in foul territory.
And redemption for Daniel Jipping there after a very poor play on that Carmen Benedetti base hit to left field. He dove, but was able to come up with it and allowed 2 runs to score in that second inning. Gets redemption, and that ended up giving chase all the way over into foul territory. A very long run, able to hang on to it despite running into that wall. Right, he ran into the wall right where it goes up from about 5 feet to up to about 8 feet. But able to hang out for the first out of the inning.
That'll bring up Travis Maces, takes a ball down and away. Maces is 0 for 1 today. Walked in the first inning, came around to score a run, struck out in the second inning. Maces, hard ground ball to second base, gobbled up there by McKenzie to retire Travis.
And that draws some applause, from the crowd. The crowd is filled out here. There's barely about 250 people here when this game started, but it is really filled in, right about 500 to 600 people here in Tennyson Stadium.
After 2 quick outs from McNamara, now Carmen Benedetti will step to the plate. Benedetti has had a pretty big game today, 2 RBIs, had a double in the second inning. Benedetti fouls one out of play. 0-1 now with 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning. Wolverines up 5-3. Despite out-hitting the Chippewas 7-2 so far.
Yeah, Chippewas, they got that first run without the benefit of a hit.
Benedetti again fouls one straight back into the backstop. 0-2 now. Has dug himself into a hole. Good pitcher's count for Jimmy McNamara.
And perhaps Benedetti went up to the plate looking for that breaking ball. Instead, he's received 2 fastballs so far. He's been late on both of them and done nothing but foul them off.
McNamara's pitch down.
Another fastball by McNamara. Tries to get Benedetti to chase in the dirt, but no such luck. Count goes to 1-2.
McNamara delivers high and outside. Looks like he took something off of that. Couldn't find the strike zone, though. The count will even itself at 2.
And not afraid to come right after Benedetti with no runners on base.
That ball down and in. Fastball way low at Benedetti's shoe tops. Now count will run full 3-2 on the Wolverines cleanup hitter.
Yeah, he came right after him, quickly had 0-2. Now he's just danced around a little bit.
Benedetti shoots one into center field. Looks like a pretty routine play for Nick Regnier, and that'll retire the side. Michigan goes 1-2-3. Glines, Mazes, Benedetti all record outs. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Michigan leading 5-3 here at Tennyson Stadium in Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
And a big half inning there by Jimmy McNamara. As we mentioned, the Wolverines trying to get some runs, answer right back against the Chippewas, but unable to do so. And they went pretty harmlessly. First inning all game, they've gone 1-2-3. And that will send Matt Ogden back out there to face the 5, 6, 7 hitters.
And that'll be Daniel Jipping and Zach McKinstry and Joe Houlihan, who were all retired in the 2nd inning. What are you looking for out of Matt Ogden here in his 4th inning of work? Been a little rocky since the 1st inning. What are you looking for Matt Ogden to do here in the 4th frame?
What we really saw in that 2nd frame that you just just mentioned, he did give up that one unearned run, but even so, was able to pretty much keep some control. And he was really hitting his corners. His breaking ball looked good, but even more than that, he was able to mix up his pitches. It seems like the Chippewas have kind of known what's coming, and they've been able to tee off on Matt Ogden a little bit, and obviously just a little bit of luck. You could see very easily that two-run triple by Tyler Hunty would have gone perhaps just one more foot to its left and gone foul. We wouldn't have even been having this conversation. We'd be saying what a great outing Matt Ogden had. So perhaps a little bit of luck on behalf of the Chippewas, but nonetheless, they've done a good job making Ogden pay. As you mentioned, last half inning, only 2 hits, but 3 runs, and they've been able to come up when it counts.
Daniel Jipping now steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today, however, has an RBI. Drove in Nick Regnier in the 2nd inning for the Chippewas 1 run. That frame takes a ball low, skips away from Kendall Patrick. 1-0 count here on Daniel Jipping, the left fielder for the Chips. Ogden delivers. That ball is through the left side of the infield between the third baseman and shortstop Bivens. That'll be a base hit for Daniel Jipping.
And you got to question the effort from Travis Mazes. He looked like he could have had at least a shot at that one, just kind of stood by a house on the side of the ground and watched that one go by. Just let it. He was, to his credit, he was right on the edge of the infield grass. So didn't have a lot of time to react, but just kind of watched that one go by. I think it would have been spectacular play if he was able to snag that one. But even if he knocked it down, or even flinched a muscle at all, just kind of watched it go by. After 2 questionable defensive plays, not what you've seen. You can't like what you've seen so far from the veteran third baseman.
Ball outside to Zach McKinstry. Showed bunt, pulled it back though. Looks like the Chips might be wanting to push Daniel Jipping over to second base with 1 out, try to get a 4th run across for them. Ogden now sets. Deals. Fastball on the outer half of the plate. Little delayed call from Mark Ewell, the home plate umpire, but I think Matt Ogden will take it.
Yeah, it looked like it was a strike all the way, and then I think McKinstry thought he got away with that one there, but as has been a habit for Mark Ewell, comes up late with that right hand.
Count now 1-1 on McKinstry, the shortstop. Ogden's breaking ball, shot into left field. That'll be a foul ball. Just a few feet into foul territory. Cody Bruder gave chase for the Wolverines, just unable to have enough speed to get over there. Long run for Bruder.
Yeah, lots of room to patrol out there in left field. We already saw Jipping have some trouble with there and allow 2 runs to score off the bat of Carmen Benedetti. So Bruder gave chase, but just wasn't able to quite get over there in time.
Zach McKinstry now 1-2 count.
And we saw the hit and run on play in that last inning, but the foul ball took it off.
Uncomfortable looking swing from Zach McKinstry. Ogden gets him on strikes. That ball, fastball on the outer half of the plate, looked like McKinstry was really uncomfortable, awkward, and just discombobulated with that swing.
Yeah, kind of surprised by McKinstry's move there. Just waved at a fastball and way out of the zone. That was well into the right-hander batter's box, but as you mentioned, discombobulated and a big strikeout for Matt Ogden.
Looked like he was looking for a breaking ball there. That's probably why his swing was so late and just so choppy. That'll bring up the third baseman, Joe Houlihan, for the Chips. Still runner on first base. That is Daniel Jipping, reached via a single to left field. Ogden now from the stretch. That ball is grounded to second base. Cronenworth flips over the shortstop Bivens. Over to Benedetti. That is a 4-6-3 double play. That'll end the 4th inning for the Wolverines. Great defensive play there by Cronenworth on a slow ground ball, able to charge and start the tailor-made 4-6-3 double play.
Yeah, perhaps helped out a little bit by the lack of speed by Joe Houlihan. I thought he was going to be able to beat that one out, but a very good relay by Jake Bivens. He was there right when Jay Cronenworth needed him, and then was able to make that throw, and get the Wolverines out of the inning. So they weren't able to score, but they keep the Chippewas off the scoreboard for the first time since the first inning. And we'll head to the top of the 5th as the Wolverines try and get things going. Cody Bruder, the first batter, due up for the Wolverines.
Cody Bruder, 1 for 2 today, has a base hit, RBI, drove in one of Michigan's 3 runs in the first inning. Also came around to score on Ken O'Patrick's RBI single. Also had a lazy fly out to center field in the second inning. Set to take the batter's box here in the 5th inning. Michigan leading 5-3 in the top of the 5th, out hitting Central Michigan 7-3. Michigan also has an error by Travis Macis, which led to Central Michigan's first run, which came in the 2nd frame.